Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is about to welcome the world as the host city of the Group of 20 Economic Summit starting Thursday. The city has weathered its own economic storm. VOA's Paula Wolfson reports 30 years after the steel industry lost its glimmer, Pittsburgh has reinvented itself.
Dennis Vorosky is the face of Pittsburgh. He comes from a family of steelworkers.
We're going to do a quick little x-ray on you, okay?
And as a young man took a job in the mill.
1985, I was laid off. 1986, I started here as a student in x-ray. Head back.
When the steel industry went down, Vorosky went back to school and became a medical technician. Just as he reinvented himself, so did Pittsburgh. Joseph Sabino Mystic, a former city official, is now a college professor. He lived through the changes and remembers how the plant closures affected local families.
We had to do something dramatic, and along came health care and education, the universities and our hospital sector, and that just changed everything around here.
Carnegie Mellon University became a center for innovation in computer science and robotics, attracting new business to the area. The University of Pittsburgh grew its medical school and affiliated hospitals into the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, or UPMC, known worldwide for its pioneering work in organ transplants, cancer research, and children's health. UPMC Chief Jeffrey Romoff says Pittsburgh tapped its resources and evolved.
Pittsburgh converted itself moment by moment, brick by brick, and it created a new future for itself.
A shroud of industrial pollution cloaked the city during the days of big steel. Today, the view from a hill overlooking Pittsburgh is clear. A skyscraper built to house the headquarters of the steel industry now bears the logo of UPMC, the biggest employer in town.
Pittsburgh has morphed with the demise of much of the smokestack, or the traditional smokestack in manufacturing. Pittsburgh has now become really very much a city of the future.
The biggest accomplishment may be that in tough economic times, its unemployment rate is 3 points below the national average. Dan Honorato is the top elected official in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area.
So it's a story for other cities in this country, and it's a story for other cities and regions in other countries, because we've been there, we've been through it, and their issues are no different than the issues we faced 20, 30 years ago.
He says President Barack Obama chose Pittsburgh to host the G20 because its strong, diverse economy is a model for others. Now the Pittsburgh area is moving into alternative energy, says Sabino Mystic.
There's something about the majesty of it all, that we came from where we came from, that we were hell with a lid off, as a writer once said, and that all of this has come from that. It's mind-boggling.
World leaders will get to see what Pittsburghers see with pride when the G20 opens on September 24th. Paula Wolfson, VOA News, Pittsburgh.
Now, residents of Pittsburgh are looking forward to showing off the city's resilience to visiting G20 leaders. Here again is Paula Wolfson.
In a part of the city known as the Strip, Pittsburgh's rich cultural heritage is on display.
Half a pound of blue Stilton.
Here, Lynn Parkinson fills her basket with cheeses from around the world and talks about her town.
People don't know how wonderful it is. It's not too big, it's not too small. We also have people and cultures from all around the world, just like the people who are coming to see us.
She says she would like to take the G20 leaders for a stroll.
I hope they'll come down through this district and see how we work together, how we enjoy each other's cultures, and how everything can work together.
The heart of the Strip is Primanti's, which started out as a lunch stop for workers at the nearby produce yards. Everything here, including the French fries, is packed between slices of bread.
There's always people here. There's always people in this restaurant, and they come from all over town. They come from all over the area around town just to, come down, get a bite to eat, and you never know who you're going to run into. It's just a part of the soul of the city.
The welcoming spirit is contagious.
Yum, yum.
Jacob Roman says the G20 is in for a surprise.
No matter where you come from, people they get excited, like when the prime ministers and the kings are going to come, they're going to feel like they're at home.
Pittsburghers cannot wait to show off their town, says Dan Honorado, the highest elected official in the region.
It's amazing the number of calls I get on a daily basis from CEOs to school children who are offering to volunteer, to do whatever they can to sell this region.
In advance of the summit, workers are cleaning up the convention center, the main site of the talks. Pittsburgh's image as an old manufacturing town with filthy air also needs polishing, even though the city was cleaned up decades ago. There was disbelief in the White House press room when spokesman Robert Gibbs announced in May that Pittsburgh would host the G20 Summit.
The United States will host the next G20 Summit, September 24th through the 25th. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
We get some chuckles and you get kind of used to it.
Lifelong Pittsburghers like Joseph Sabino Mystic shrug it off.
My response generally is, well, what do they know? What do they know?
There is a downside to hosting the summit. Traffic will be a mess. Schools will close. Joe Valentry, like many Pittsburghers, is taking it in stride. He works near the summit site.
I know they're planning on closing down all those roads. I personally won't be here that day at work. I'll work from home on those days that they're here.
Pittsburghers are used to challenges. Their beloved Steelers, the current American football champions, had 40 losing seasons before they began to win. Heinz Field, home of the Steelers, is sacred ground to many residents.
They identify with it. They never give up, no matter what might have happened.
Former Steeler Rocky Bleier says the team is a metaphor for Pittsburgh. It fought back against the odds, overcame old stereotypes, and became a winner.
It's kind of what this city is about. The city is about hope.
Pittsburgh has been called the city of champions, but Bleier says the G20 will find a city of not just hope, but resilience. Paula, Wolfson, VOA News, Pittsburgh.
Wow, looks
Corey,
like
I almost envy you. Now you're
yeah,
going
let's
to
go
be
to Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh on
Yes.
Wednesday.
I'll be there. I'll be covering the G20, and we hope to tell a good story about especially the deliberations there and how they relate to Africa.
Well, you have to have that sandwich for me, the one
I will
with the
take
fries.
it for you.
Oh.